The space around planet Kepler 442c was quiet and peaceful. Stars shined like tiny diamonds against the black sky. The human research ship New Sol moved slowly in orbit around the planet below. The planet looked beautiful with its blue oceans and green lands. Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of his ship. He was a tall man with kind eyes and strong hands. He looked out the big window at the planet below. This planet had many valuable minerals that Earth needed. His job was to study the planet and find the best places to mine. Captain, called So Young from her station, she was the communications officer. Her job was to send and receive messages. "I'm getting a strange signal." Hyunwoo walked over to her. "What kind of signal?" So Young pressed some buttons on her computer. "It's coming from deep space. Very strong. And it's getting closer." The captain felt worried. They were far from Earth. No other human ships were supposed to be in this area. "Can you understand the signal?" "Yes, sir. It's in our language." But the voice sounded different. Suddenly, the main screen on the bridge turned on by itself. A face appeared on the screen. It was not human. The creature had gray skin, sharp teeth, and bright red eyes. It wore black armor with spikes on. "I am Warlord Thaxon of the Valkyrie Empire," the alien said. His voice was deep and scary. "You are in our space. You do not belong here." The bridge became very quiet. All 12 crew members stopped what they were doing and stared at the screen. "This system belongs to the Valkyrie Empire," Thaxon continued. "You will leave now. If you do not leave, we will destroy you." Captain Hyunwoo stepped forward. He tried to stay calm. "I am Captain Hyunwoo of the human ship New Sol. We are here on a peaceful mission. We didn't know this space belonged to anyone." Thaxon's red eyes got brighter. "We do not care about your mission. We do not care if you knew or not. This is our space. Leave now or die." Dr. Minho, the ship's scientist, was sitting at his station. He quickly started typing on his computer. He wanted to learn about these aliens. His fingers moved fast across the keyboard. "Captain," Minho whispered, "I'm finding information about these Valkyrie. They are warriors. They have conquered many planets. They use fear to make other species give up without fighting." Engineer Dong-hyun was in the engine room below. He heard everything through the ship's speakers. He had been working on the mining equipment all morning. Now he stopped working and listened carefully. "You have one day," Thaxon said on the screen. 24 hours. If you are still here when the time is up, we will turn your ship into space dust." The screen went black. The bridge was quiet again. "Sir," said Navigator Ha-young. She was young, but very smart. "I'm seeing ships coming out of hyperspace." Everyone looked out the window. In the distance, they could see lights appearing. One by one, 12 huge ships came into view. Each ship was 3 times bigger than the New Sol. They were black and covered with weapons. They looked like giant monsters in space. "Those are warships," said Commander Jae-young. He was in charge of ship security. He had been a soldier before, joining the crew. "Big ones. Each ship probably has 1,000 crew members." Pilot Seung-ho was sitting at his controls. His hands were shaking a little. "Captain, should we run? We can't fight ships that big." Systems analyst Soo-jin was looking at her computer screens. Numbers and data filled the screens. "Sir, I'm reading their power levels. Just one of those ships has more firepower than our entire ship." Captain Hyunwoo looked around at his crew. They were all good people. So Young was only 25 years old. She had joined the crew to see the stars. Soo-jin was a mother of 2 children back on Earth. Dong-hyun had built most of the ship's systems with his own hands. "What do we do, Captain?" asked Dr. Yoon-ji. She was the ship's physicist. She was very smart and always stayed calm in dangerous situations. Before Hyunwoo could answer, the main screen turned on again. This time it showed space outside their ship. One of the Valkyrie ships was pointing its weapons at a small moon near the planet. "Watch and learn," came Thaxon's voice. Bright red beams shot out from the Valkyrie ship. The beams hit the moon. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the moon started to glow. It got brighter and brighter. Suddenly, the entire moon exploded into millions of pieces. The crew of the New Soul watched in shock. The moon was gone. Just gone. Where it used to be, there was only empty space and floating rocks. That could be your ship, Thaxon's voice said. That could be your planet Earth. We have done this to 100 worlds. We have made 100 species surrender. You are nothing special. The screen went black again. Commander J. Young spoke first. Captain, we should leave. We have families back home. This isn't worth dying for. But we spent 2 years getting here, said Dr. Minho. Earth needs these minerals. If we leave now, it will be months before another ship can come. Shung Ho, the pilot, looked scared. Those ships could destroy us in seconds. What can we do against weapons like that? Engineer Dong Hyun's voice came through the speakers from the engine room. Captain, I need to say something. I helped design this ship. We're not a warship, but we're not helpless either. What do you mean? Asked the captain. This ship has mining equipment. Powerful mining equipment. Lasers that can cut through solid rock. Gravity machines that can move asteroids. Tools that can break apart planets. Dr. Yunji suddenly looked interested. Dong Hyun is right. Our mining tools are very advanced. Maybe more advanced than those aliens think. Captain Hyun Woo walked to the center of the bridge. He looked at each of his crew members. I want everyone to think carefully. We can leave right now. We can go home safe. Or we can stay and fight. Fight? Said So Young. Captain, how can we fight 12 warships? I don't know yet, Hyun Woo admitted. But I know one thing. Bullies like these Valkyrie only understand one language. If we run away, they will think all humans are weak. They might come to Earth next. The crew was quiet for a long moment. I vote to stay, said Dr. Minho. These aliens conquered other species because those species gave up too easily. Maybe it's time someone fought back. I agree, said Dong Hyun through the speakers. I didn't spend 5 years building this ship just to run away from our first real challenge. One by one, each crew member voted. So Young voted to stay. Sujin voted to stay. Even young navigator Hai Young voted to stay. Commander Jae Young was the last to vote. He looked worried, but he nodded. If we're going to fight, we need a plan. And we need it fast. Captain Hyunwoo smiled for the first time since the aliens appeared. Then let's get to work. We have 24 hours to figure out how to beat 12 warships with one mining vessel. Sir, said Dr. Yunji, what should I tell the Valkyrie if they contact us again? Hyunwoo thought for a moment. Tell them we're thinking about their offer. Buy us time. As the crew started working, none of them knew they were about to change galactic history forever. The Valkyrie had made their biggest mistake. They had given humanity time to think. The clock on the bridge showed 22 hours left. Captain Hyunwoo had called all crew members to the main meeting room. The room was small but comfortable. 12 chairs sat around a metal table. Everyone looked worried but determined. We need to understand what we're fighting, said Dr. Minho. He put his tablet on the table. Pictures of Valkyrie ships filled the screen. I've been studying their broadcasts. The Valkyrie are a warrior race. They've conquered 47 different species in the last 100 years. So Young raised her hand. How do they always win? Fear, Minho answered. They show up with big ships. They destroy something to prove how strong they are. Then most species just give up without fighting. Engineer Dong Hyun leaned forward. But some species must have fought back. What happened to Bo? Them? Minho's face became serious. The Valkyrie destroyed their planets completely. Billions of people died. The room became very quiet. Everyone was thinking about Earth, about their families. Captain Hyunwoo stood up. That's exactly why we can't run. If we show fear, they'll think all humans are weak. They might attack Earth next. Dr. Yunji was looking at her computer. Captain, I've been studying the video of them destroying the moon. Their weapons use plasma energy. Very hot plasma. What does that mean? Asked pilot Sung-ho. All energy has a pattern, Yunji explained. Like a fingerprint. If I can understand their plasma pattern, maybe I can find a weakness. In the engine room, Dong Hyun was working on the mining equipment. The room was full of big machines and computers. Sparks flew as he used his tools. He was changing the mining lasers. These lasers were made to cut rocks, he said to himself. But plasma is just super hot gas. Maybe they can cut plasma too. Systems. Analyst Soo-jin was in her lab. She had 3 computer screens running different programs. Numbers and charts filled every screen. She was trying to understand how the Valkyrie ships worked. Their ships are big, she said to her computer. But big doesn't always mean better. Navigator Ha-young was studying the enemy ships through the telescope. She was very young, only 23 years old. But she had the best eyes on the ship. They move in straight lines, she told the captain over the radio. Always the same pattern, like they're following a rule book. Commander Jae-young was in the weapons room. The new Seoul wasn't a warship, but it had some basic weapons for protection. Small laser guns. Nothing that could hurt a Valkyrie warship. These pop guns won't even scratch their armor, he said. He felt frustrated. 6 hours passed. The crew worked without stopping. They shared food and coffee in the hallways. Nobody wanted to waste time. Dr. Yoonji made the first big discovery. She ran to the bridge, very excited. Captain, I found something important. Everyone gathered around her computer. The Valkyrie plasma weapons work on a specific frequency, she explained, like a radio signal. But here's the interesting part. They all use the exact same frequency. Why is that important? Asked So-young. Because if they all use the same frequency, I can predict where their shots will go. I can track them, maybe even block them. Captain Hyun-woo smiled. That's good news. What else? Soo-jin came running from her lab. Captain, I've been watching. They're ships. They're not as strong as they look. She put her tablet on the table. It showed pictures of the Valkyrie ships. Look at their design, she said. These ships are made to look scary, not to fight smart enemies. They have big weapons, but their armor is thin in some places. Where? Asked Commander Jae-young. Soo-jin pointed to different parts of the ship. Here, here, and here. The engine sections have weak armor. They probably never expected anyone to get close enough to target these spots. Dr. Minho had more news. I've been listening to their radio messages. Most of it is in their language, but some is in computer code. I think I'm starting to understand their battle plans. What kind of plans? Asked the captain. Simple ones. Very simple. They always do the same thing. First, they surround the enemy. Then they demand surrender. If the enemy doesn't surrender, they shoot with all ships at the same time. Ha-young laughed. That's not a battle plan, that's just being a bully. Exactly, said Minho. They've never fought an enemy that fought back in a smart way. Down in the engine room, Dong Hyun was making progress. He had connected the mining lasers to the ship's main computer. Now Dr. Yoonji could control them from the bridge. The mining equipment is ready, he announced over the radio. I've also been working on something else. What? Asked Captain Hyun-woo. Our gravity manipulator. We use it to move asteroids when we're mining. But gravity affects everything, not just rocks. You mean it could affect their ships? Maybe, if I can boost the power enough. So-young had been quiet for a long time. She was listening to Valkyrie radio signals. Suddenly, she looked up with, "Surprise, Captain, you need to hear this." She played a recording. It was Valkyrie voices speaking in their own language. I can't understand the words, she said, but listen to how they sound. Everyone listened. The Valkyrie voices sounded bored, like they were reading from a script. They sound like they don't. Expect a real fight, said Commander Jae-young. So-young nodded. That's what I thought too. And there's something else. I've been counting their transmissions. These 12 ships, they're not talking to a main fleet. What do you mean? Asked the captain. I mean, these might be the only Valkyrie ships in this area. Usually big empires have many fleets, but I'm not hearing any other ships. Dr. Minho started typing on his computer very fast. That would make sense. If the Valkyrie always win through fear, they don't need big fleets. They just need ships that look scary. So these might not be their best warriors? Asked pilot Sung-ho. Probably not, said Minho. These are probably their intimidation specialists. ships designed to make other species surrender without fighting. Captain Hyun-woo stood up. He felt hope for the first time since the aliens arrived. So we're not fighting their best military units, we're fighting their bullies. That's right, said Soo-jin, and bullies usually don't know how to handle someone who fights back. Dr. Yoonji had been working on her computer. Captain, I think I can do more than just track their plasma shots. I think I can redirect them. Redirect them where? Back at their own ships. The room exploded with excited voices. Everyone was talking at once. Captain Hyun-woo held up his hand for silence. How long do we have left? Ha-young checked the clock. 16 hours, sir. Then we keep working. Dong-hyun, how long do you need to finish the gravity manipulator? 6 hours, Captain. Yoonji, how long for the plasma redirection system? 8 hours if Soo-jin helps me. I'll help, said Soo-jin quickly. Commander Jae-young, I want you to plan our attack strategy. Use everything we've learned. Yes, sir. Sung-ho, practice flying between those big ships. We'll need to get very close. The pilot nodded. He looked nervous but determined. So young. Keep listening to their communications. Tell us if anything changes. Yes, Captain. Minho, keep studying their behavior. I want to know everything about how they think. As the crew went back to work, Captain Hyun-woo felt something he hadn't expected. He felt proud. His crew wasn't just trying to survive. They were turning their peaceful mining ship into something the Valkyrie had never seen before. A weapon powered by human intelligence. The Valkyrie thought they were fighting helpless miners. They had no idea they were about to face the most dangerous thing in the universe, humans who had time to think. 2 hours before the deadline, Captain Hyun-woo stood on the bridge. His crew had worked all night without sleep. Everyone looked tired but ready. The modifications to their ship were complete. Captain, said So-young from her station, the Valkyrie are sending another message. The main screen turned on. Warlord Thaxon appeared again. His red eyes looked angry and impatient. Your time is almost up, humans, Thaxon said. We are tired of waiting. You have 2 choices. Leave now, or we destroy you in 2 hours. Captain Hyun-woo stepped forward. He made his face look scared and worried. Please, we need more time. We have valuable research data on our computers. If we leave too fast, we might lose everything. Thaxon laughed. It was a cold, mean sound. Research data? We do not care about your data. But it took us years to collect, Hyun-woo said. He made his voice sound desperate. Please, just give us a few more hours to transfer our files safely. Then we'll leave, I promise. The alien leader thought for a moment. You humans are all the same, always begging for more time. Fine. You have 4 more hours. Use this time to run far away. When those 4 hours are over, we will hunt you across the galaxy. The screen went black. Dr. Yoonji looked at the captain with surprise. Sir, why did you ask for more time? We're already ready to fight. Hyun-woo smiled. Because I wanted them to think we're scared. Now they believe we're going to run away. They won't expect us to attack. In the engine room, Dong-hyun was making final checks on the gravity manipulator. The machine was 3 times bigger than before. Thick cables ran from it to the ship's main power source. Computer, run diagnostic test, he said. All systems functioning. At optimal levels, the computer replied. Dong-hyun wiped sweat from his face. Yoonji, are you ready up there? Almost, came her voice through the radio. I'm connecting the plasma redirection system to our particle processors. The particle processors were machines that cleaned space dust from around the ship. Now Yoonji had turned them into a shield system. When the Valkyrie fired their plasma weapons, the processors would create a cloud of particles to absorb the energy. Soo-jin was at her station, watching the enemy ships. Captain, they're moving into attack formation. All 12 ships are making a circle around us. Just like Minho predicted, said Commander Jae-young. They always use the same strategy. Dr. Minho was studying the Valkyrie radio signals. Sir, I'm hearing something interesting. They're talking about their next target after us. What about it? They're planning to attack a peaceful trading station in the next system. Thousands of families live there. Captain Hyun-woo's face became hard. Then we definitely can't let them leave here. Pilot Seung-ho was practicing flight maneuvers on the computer simulator. His hands moved quickly over the controls. "Captain, I've planned our attack route. It's going to be very dangerous." "Show me," said Hyun-woo. Seung-ho put the flight plan on the main screen. It showed the new Soul flying straight into the center of the Valkyrie formation. "You want to fly directly at them?" asked Commander Jae-young. "It's the only way," Seung-ho explained. "If we stay far away, they can use their long-range weapons. But if we get very close, their big ships will have trouble targeting us." Navigator Hae-young was watching the enemy ships through the telescope. "They're so big that they need a lot of space to turn around. If we get between them, they might hit each other if they're not careful." "That's the idea," said Seung-ho. "We use their size against them." Dr. Eun-ji looked up from her work. "Captain, the plasma redirection system is ready, but I need to warn you about something." "What?" "This system has never been tested. I don't know if it will work, and if it fails, we'll have no protection against their weapons." So-young was listening to more Valkyrie transmissions. "Captain, they're getting impatient. Warlord Thaxon just ordered his ships to charge their weapons." Through the windows, the crew could see the Valkyrie ships. Bright lights began to glow along their weapon arrays. The ships looked like giant metal beasts ready to attack. "How much time do we have left?" asked Hyun-woo. 1 hour and 30 minutes, said Hae-young. "Then it's time," said the captain. He walked to his command chair and sat down. "All crew members report to battle stations." Dong-hyun left the engine room and came to the bridge. All 12 crew members were now together in one place. "Before we start," said Captain Hyun-woo, "I want to say something. What we're about to do is very dangerous. Any of us might not survive. If anyone wants to change their mind, speak now." Nobody said anything. Every crew member looked determined. "Then let's show these bullies what humans can do," said the captain. So-young, open a channel to the Valkyrie fleet." "Channel open, sir." Captain Hyun-woo stood up. His voice became strong and clear. "Warlord Thaxon, this is Captain Hyun-woo of the human ship New Soul." The main screen turned on. Thaxon appeared, looking surprised. "You are supposed to be running away," the alien said. "We've been thinking about what you said," Hyun-woo replied. "About how you've conquered so many species. About how you've destroyed so many worlds. And now you understand our power," Thaxon said with satisfaction. "Oh, we understand," said Hyun-woo. His voice became cold. "We understand that you're nothing but bullies. You've never fought anyone who fought back with intelligence. You've never faced anyone who refused to be scared." Thaxon's red eyes became brighter with anger. "You dare insult the Valkyrie Empire?" "I'm not insulting you," said Captain Hyun-woo. "I'm teaching you something new. You tried to intimidate us with bombs. You destroyed a moon to make us afraid. But you made one big mistake." "What mistake?" Thaxon demanded. Captain Hyun-woo smiled. It was not a friendly smile. "You gave us time to think, and when humans have time to think, we become very dangerous." The alien leader's face twisted with rage. "You will die for your words, human." "Maybe," said Hyun-woo, "but you'll know true fear first." He made a signal to So-young. She cut the transmission. "Seung-ho, begin the attack run," ordered the captain. "Yes, sir." The pilot's hands moved over the controls. The New Soul suddenly accelerated toward the Valkyrie fleet. The ship moved faster than it had ever moved before. "They're targeting us," shouted Soo-jin. "All 12 ships are locking weapons." "On us." "Yoon-ji, prepare the particle shield," said Hyun-woo. "Shield ready, Captain." "Dong-hyun, power up the gravity manipulator." "Manipulator at full power." The Valkyrie ships opened fire all at once. Dozens of bright red plasma beams shot toward the small human ship. It looked like the New Soul would be destroyed instantly. "Now, Yoon-ji," shouted the captain. Dr. Yoon-ji pressed a button. The particle processors around the ship activated. A cloud of tiny particles spread out around the New Soul. When the plasma beams hit the particle cloud, something amazing happened. The red energy beams slowed down. The particles absorbed the plasma energy and began to glow. Then the redirection system activated. The absorbed energy shot back toward the Valkyrie ships. It's working, shouted Yunji. The plasma is bouncing back. The redirected energy hit. 3 Valkyrie ships. Their shields flickered and sparked. Alarms began to sound on the alien vessels. Impossible, came Thaxon's voice over the radio. How are you doing this? Seung-ho flew the new Soul straight into the middle of the Valkyrie formation. The alien ships were so big and close together that they couldn't fire without risking hitting each other. Dong-hyun, target the lead ship with the gravity manipulator, ordered Captain Hyun-woo. Targeting now. A beam of invisible gravity force shot out from the new Soul. It hit Warlord Thaxon's ship. The massive vessel began to shake and twist. Metal panels on its hull started to bend and crack. What is happening to our ship? Thaxon screamed over the radio. You're learning about human mining equipment, Captain Hyun-woo replied calmly. We use gravity to move asteroids. Your ship is just a very big asteroid. The Valkyrie tried to fire again, but Seung-ho was flying too close. The human ship danced between the giant alien vessels like a small bird flying around sleeping giants. Captain, called So-young. I'm hearing panic in their communications. They don't understand what's happening. For the first time in their history, the Valkyrie were experiencing something they had never felt before. They were afraid. The space around planet Kepler 442c had become a battlefield like no one had ever seen before. The 12 massive Valkyrie warships surrounded one small human mining vessel. But the small ship was winning. Target their engine sections, shouted Captain Hyun-woo. Soo-jin, guide Dong-hyun to the weak spots. Soo-jin's fingers flew over her computer. Dong-hyun, hit the third ship from the left. Target the area behind their main weapons. The gravity manipulator fired again. The invisible force grabbed the Valkyrie ship and twisted it like a piece of metal in a giant's hands. The ship's armor cracked. Sparks flew from broken systems. Direct hit, called Hai-young from her position. Their engine is smoking. Pilot Seung-ho spun the new Soul around like a dancer. The little ship moved between the huge alien vessels with incredible skill. Every time the Valkyrie tried to target them, Seung-ho had already moved to a new position. How is he flying like that? Came a panicked Valkyrie voice over the radio. Their ship is too small. Another alien voice replied. Our targeting computers can't lock onto something so fast. Dr. Yoon-ji was working at her station with intense focus. Captain, I'm reading their plasma frequency perfectly now. I can redirect every shot they fire. The Valkyrie fired again. This time 6 ships shot at once. The red plasma beams looked like burning spears flying toward the new Soul. But when they hit Yoon-ji's particle cloud, the energy bounced back like light from a mirror. The redirected plasma hit 2 more Valkyrie ships. One ship's shields failed, completely. The other ship started spinning out of control. This is impossible, Warlord Thaxon screamed. They're using our own weapons against us. Commander Jae-young was watching the battle through the tactical display. Captain, their formation is breaking apart. They're getting confused and scared. Good, said Hyun-woo. Confused enemies make mistakes. Seung-ho, take us toward Thaxon's ship. Yes, sir. The new Soul flew straight at the command ship. It was the biggest of all the Valkyrie vessels. Weapons covered every surface. It looked like a flying fortress. They're coming right at us, shouted a Valkyrie officer on the radio. Destroy them, Thaxon ordered. All weapons, fire. Thaxon's ship fired everything it had. Dozens of plasma beams shot toward the small human ship. It looked like the new Soul would be destroyed for sure. But Dr. Minho had been studying Valkyrie tactics all night. Yoon-ji, they always fire in the same pattern. Redirect the energy to the ships on our left and right. Yoon-ji adjusted her controls. The particle cloud absorbed all the plasma energy. Then it shot the energy toward 2 other Valkyrie ships. The blast was so powerful that both ships' shields collapsed instantly. How are they doing this? Thaxon demanded. How can miners defeat our battle fleet? Captain Hyun-woo opened the communication channel. I told you, Thaxon. You've never fought anyone who refused to be scared. You've never fought humans. Dong-hyun fired the gravity manipulator at Thaxon's ship. The massive vessel began to shake and bend. Warning alarms filled the alien bridge. Sir, our hull is cracking, a Valkyrie officer reported. This gravity weapon is tearing our ship apart. Return fire, Thaxon ordered. But Seung-ho was already moving. The new soul flew under Thaxon's ship, then up over it, then around it in a spiral pattern. The Valkyrie gunners couldn't keep up with the human pilot's movements. So Young was listening to all the alien communications. "Captain, they're starting to panic. I can hear it in their voices. They've never been in a real fight before." "Keep listening," said Hyunwoo. "Tell me if any of them try to run away." Sujin was tracking all 12 enemy ships on her screens. "Captain, we've disabled 5 ships so far. 7 are still fighting, but 3 of those have heavy damage." Dr. Yoonji had an idea. "Captain, what if we don't just redirect their plasma? What if we store it and fire it back all at once?" "Can you do that?" "I think so. Give me 2 minutes." Yoonji worked faster than she had ever worked before. She changed the settings on the particle processors. Instead of immediately redirecting the plasma energy, the system would save it up. "Done," she announced. "The next time they fire at us, I'll store all the energy. Then we can fire it back as one giant blast." The Valkyrie ships attacked again. This time all 7 remaining ships fired together. The space around the new soul filled with red plasma beams. It was the biggest attack yet. The particle cloud absorbed everything, but this time the energy didn't bounce back immediately. Instead, it built up in the processors like water behind a dam. "Energy stored," called Yoonji. "Where should I fire it?" Captain Hyunwoo pointed at the 3 most damaged Valkyrie ships. "Those 3, and this." Yoonji fired the stored energy. A massive beam of pure plasma shot out from the new soul. It was brighter than a star. The beam hit all 3 damaged Valkyrie ships at the same time. The 3 ships exploded in brilliant flashes of light. Where there had been mighty warships, now there was only floating debris and empty space. The remaining 4 Valkyrie ships stopped firing. Their crews were too shocked to fight. "Impossible," whispered Thaxon. "We are the Valkyrie Empire. We conquer worlds. We do not lose to minors." Navigator Hai Young was watching the enemy ships carefully. "Captain, 2 of the remaining ships are trying to move away from us. I think they want to run." "Don't let them," ordered Hyunwoo. "Seung-ho, intercept those ships." The new soul chased after the retreating Valkyrie vessels. Dong-hyun used the gravity manipulator to grab one ship and stop it from escaping. The ship's engines strained against the gravity beam but couldn't break free. "We're trapped," came a Valkyrie voice over the radio. "The humans have some kind of gravity trap." Dr. Minho had been analyzing the alien psychology during the battle. "Captain, they're breaking down mentally. They built their whole empire on being the strongest. Now they don't know what to do." "Their mistake," said Commander Jae-young. "They never learned how to really fight. They only learned how to bully." Dong-hyun targeted the trapped ship's weapons. The gravity beam focused on the ship's gun arrays. One by one, the weapons were crushed and destroyed. The ship was left helpless but alive. "Please," came a desperate voice from the Valkyrie ship. "We surrender. Don't destroy us." Captain Hyunwoo opened the communication channel. "You surrender? The mighty Valkyrie Empire surrenders to a single mining ship?" Yes, we surrender. Just don't kill us." The other Valkyrie ships heard this. Soon, voices from all the remaining ships were begging for mercy. "We give up. Please don't destroy us. Have mercy." Warlord Thaxon's voice cut through the others. "Silence, we are Valkyrie. We do not beg." But his own crew was scared. "Sir, our weapons are destroyed. Our shields are down. We have no choice." "Then we run," Thaxon screamed. "All ships retreat. Leave this cursed system." The 4 remaining Valkyrie ships tried to escape, but they were too damaged to move fast. Seung-ho easily caught up with them. "Captain," said So-young, "should we destroy them?" Hyunwoo thought for a moment. He looked around at his crew. They had done the impossible. They had defeated a fleet of warships with mining equipment and human intelligence. "No," he said finally. "We're not killers. We're humans. But we're going to make sure they never forget what happened here." Dr. Yoonji looked confused. "What do you mean, Captain?" Hyunwoo smiled. It was a smile that would have made Warlord Thaxon very afraid if he could see it. "We're going to send a message, not just to these ships but to their entire empire. and to every other species in the galaxy. He turned to So Young. Open a channel to all Valkyrie frequencies. Make sure this message reaches every ship in their fleet. Channel open, sir. Captain Hyunwoo began to speak. His words would change the galaxy forever. Captain Hyunwoo stood on the bridge of the New Seoul. Around him his crew waited quietly. Through the windows they could see the broken remains of the Valkyrie fleet. 8 ships destroyed, 4 ships damaged and helpless. The mighty Empire's intimidation fleet had been defeated by 12 humans and their mining equipment. So Young, are all Valkyrie frequencies receiving our signal? Asked the captain. Yes, sir. This message will reach every Valkyrie ship in the galaxy, maybe 1,000 ships or more. Hyunwoo nodded. He began to speak. His voice was calm but strong. This is Captain Hyunwoo of the human vessel New Seoul. I am speaking to all members of the Valkyrie Empire. Today, your fleet came to our space with threats and weapons. You expected us to run away in fear. You were wrong. On Warlord Thaxon's damaged ship, the alien leader listened with growing horror. His red eyes were wide with shock. You told us you had conquered 47 species, Hyunwoo continued. You showed us how you destroyed a moon. You thought this would make us afraid. Instead, you taught us something important about yourselves. Dr. Minho was recording everything. This message would be studied by every military academy in the galaxy for years to come. You have never fought a real battle, said the captain. You have only fought people who gave up before the fighting started. You conquered species that surrendered to fear, not to your strength. Thaxon tried to speak, but his communication system had been damaged in the battle. Today, you learned what happens when you threaten someone who refuses to be afraid. You learned what human determination looks like. And you learned that intelligence beats brute force every time. Sujin was watching her computers. Data from the battle was being transmitted along with the captain's words. Every detail of how the humans had won was being sent across the galaxy. Let me tell you exactly how we defeated you, Hyunwoo said. We used mining equipment, tools designed to dig rocks and move asteroids. We used our ship's particle processors, machines made to clean space dust. We used our brains, our courage, and our refusal to give up. Dr. Yoonji smiled as she listened. She was proud of what they had accomplished together. Your plasma weapons? We turned them against you. Your big ships? We used their size to make them clumsy. Your tactics? We predicted every move because you always do the same thing. Commander Jae Young was monitoring the Valkyrie ships. Captain, I'm detecting panic on all their remaining vessels. Their crews are listening to every word. Good, said Hyunwoo. He continued his message. I want every species in the galaxy to hear this. The Valkyrie Empire is not invincible. They are bullies with big ships and small minds. When someone stands up to them, they break. Sung-ho was checking the ship's systems. Everything was working perfectly. The New Seoul had not only survived the battle but was in better condition than before. Human engineering at its finest. But this message is not just about the Valkyrie, said Captain Hyunwoo. This message is about hope. For too long, peaceful species have lived in fear of warriors and conquerors. Today, that fear ends. Navigator Haya Young was receiving signals from across the galaxy. Other species were picking up the transmission. Word was spreading fast. The humans offer friendship to all peaceful peoples, continued the captain. We offer trade, knowledge, and protection. But to those who threaten innocent lives, we offer something else entirely. The bridge became very quiet. Everyone knew the captain was about to say something important. We offer the same lesson we taught the Valkyrie today. We are humans. We do not start fights, but we always finish them. We do not conquer through fear, but we will defend the innocent with everything we have. So Young was receiving dozens of new signals. Captain, I'm getting messages from other species. They're asking if humans will really protect them. Tell them yes, said Hyunwoo. But first, let me finish this message. He looked directly at the camera. His words would be remembered forever. This is what I want every bully in the galaxy to understand. Every time you threaten someone weaker than you, remember the Kepler incident. Remember that somewhere out there, Humans are watching, and if you go too far, we will come for you. Dr. Minho was analyzing the responses they were receiving. Captain, the reaction is incredible. I'm seeing messages from species all across the galaxy. Some are asking for help. Others are saying they want to fight back against their oppressors. That's exactly what I hoped for, said Hyun-woo. He returned to his message. To the Valkyrie Empire I say this. Your reign of terror is over. Go back to your worlds. Learn to live in peace. If you can do that, humans will leave you alone. But if you threaten innocent people again, remember what happened here. Dong-hyun came up from the engine room. His face was covered with sweat and oil, but he was smiling. Captain, I've been listening from below. That was the best speech I've ever heard. It needed to be said, replied Hyun-woo. The captain prepared to end his message. This is Captain Hyun-woo signing off. To all peaceful species in the galaxy, you are not alone anymore. Humanity stands with you. So Young closed the transmission. The bridge was quiet for a moment. Sir, said Commander Jae-young, what do we do with the surviving Valkyrie ships? Hyun-woo thought for a moment. Let them go. But first, Dong-hyun, can you disable their weapons permanently? Easily, Captain. Do it. Then let them return to their empire. They can tell their leaders what happened here. For the next hour, the crew of the New Soul worked to disable the remaining Valkyrie ships. They left the aliens with working engines and life support, but no weapons. The once mighty warships would return home as harmless cargo vessels. Warlord Thaxun's ship was the last to leave. Before it departed, the alien leader sent one final message. This is not over, human. The Valkyrie Empire has thousands of ships. You have only won one battle. Captain Hyun-woo replied calmly. And how many battles did you win before today, Thaxun? 47? Those weren't battles. Those were surrenders. Today you learned what a real battle looks like. Are you sure you want another one? Thaxun's ship departed without another word. 6 months later, Dr. Minho was writing a report in his lab. The New Soul had returned to Earth as heroes, but their real victory was happening across the galaxy. The Kepler incident has changed everything, he wrote. 17 species have declared independence from Valkyrie rule. 23 others have formed a mutual defense alliance. The Valkyrie Empire is collapsing without firing another shot. Captain Hyun-woo was in his office reading messages from across the galaxy. Letters of thanks from freed peoples, requests for human assistance, invitations to join new alliances. But the message that made him happiest was from Earth's government. Humanity was building a real space fleet, not for conquest but for protection. The galaxy would never again be ruled by fear. So Young knocked on his door. Captain, we're receiving a transmission from the Altair system. A species called the Centauri is asking for help against Valkyrie raiders. Hyun-woo stood up and smiled. Then we'd better get going. We have work to do. As the New Soul prepared for its next mission, Captain Hyun-woo looked out at the stars. Somewhere out there, peaceful species were living without fear for the first time in generations. Somewhere out there, bullies were thinking twice before threatening the innocent. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate humans who have time to think. The age of fear was over. The age of hope had begun. And it all started with 12 people who refused to run away from a fight they couldn't win. The end.